Hi guys, welcome back to the Distinction Factory where we make our mark. And today we are going to be focusing on grade 8 and 9 proportions. Now we have two types of proportions. We have direct proportion and indirect proportion. And in order to identify which one is which, we are going to be looking at how the variables interact with each other. So if we have direct proportion, that means that as one of your variables increases, so does the other one. So as one of the variables decreases, so does the other one as well. For indirect proportion, we are looking at as one of your variables increases, the other one decreases, and vice versa. So I've got some examples for us that we can try out to help you guys better understand how to attempt such questions. The first one says, if Josh eats 24 sweets in 20 minutes, how many sweets can he eat in 35 minutes? So the things that we are comparing here is important. We are comparing the number of sweets that he's eating to the time that it takes for him to eat those sweets. And we're going to write down our variables because remember in the exam, they're not going to tell you whether it's direct or indirect. You're going to have to determine that by yourself. So we are comparing the sweets to the time that he takes to eat those sweets. So if we increase the time that he has, that means that the number of sweets that he'll be eating will also increase. And because both of them are increasing, that means that we have direct proportion. So from here, we are going to write down two ratios. First is your known ratio, which are things that you know for sure are going to happen. And second is an unknown ratio, which is the thing that they are asking you to calculate. And I use this method because I do find it the easiest and most uniform throughout all sections. But there will be other methods and you can choose the one that best fits you. So our known ratio in this case is that we know for sure he's going to be eating 24 sweets in 20 minutes. So this is our known ratio. Then we have to write down our unknown ratio. So it asks us how many sweets. That means that we don't know this amount. So I'll put an X in place of the sweets. Can he eat in 35 minutes? So I'll put my 35 underneath the time column. And because this is direct proportion, we are going to cross multiply. So that means that I am going to be taking the 24 and multiplying it to what's directly across it, which is a 35. And that needs to equal to the X multiplied by directly opposite that, which is the 20. So 20 times X is 20X. And then we're going to solve for X as if it's an equation. So 24 times 35 gives us 840. And then remember that we want to get X alone. So I need to get rid of this 20. And in order to do that, I will divide both sides by 20. So from here, our 20s will cancel off and we are left with X. And then 840 divided by 20 gives us 42. So that means that within 35 minutes, he will be able to eat 42 sweets. That is direct proportion. From there, we can go on to indirect proportion. So remember, for indirect proportion, as one thing increases, the other thing decreases. So if we are looking at our question, it says that it takes 3 months for 5 workers to build a house. How long will it take for 7 workers to build the same house? So let's first evaluate how do we know whether this is direct or indirect proportion. So we are comparing the workers that we have to the time that it takes for them to complete the house. So if I increase my time, that means that I don't need to employ as many workers because less workers will complete the job in a longer time. Let's say I decrease my time, then that means I will need to employ more workers to complete the job in a quicker time. So that's how we know that this is indirect proportion. And again, we are following the same method where we write down a known ratio and an unknown ratio. So our known ratio in this case is that we know for sure that it takes 5 workers to build a house within 3 months. So this is our known ratio. Our unknown ratio says how long will it take. So they don't know the time. So let's put an X underneath our time. And it says how long will it take for 7 workers to build the same house. So we'll put a 7 underneath the workers column. And because this is indirect proportion, we are going to straight multiply. So we end up having 5 being multiplied by 3. And that needs to equal to 7 being multiplied by x, which gives us 7x. So 5 times by 3 is 15. And then we need to get rid of the 7 that's in front of the x. So we will have to divide both sides by 7. From there, you can put that into your calculator. Our 7s cancel off with each other. And 15 divided by 7 is 2.14. So if I have 7 workers, it will take me 2.14 months in order for me to build a house. I've got some examples down here for us to practice direct and indirect proportion. The first one says a contractor undertook a contract to complete a part of a stadium in 9 months with a team of 560 people. Later on, it is required to complete the job in 5 months. How many extra people should he employ in order to complete the work? So let's first determine whether this is direct or indirect proportion. We are comparing the number of people that he's got working on the house to the time that it takes them to complete the house. So if I have more time, actually less time, that means that I will have to employ more people to complete the contract. So that means that we have indirect proportion here. Our first step is to write down our known ratio. So we know for sure that 560 people will be able to complete the job within 9 months' time. Then we have to write down our unknown ratio. So we don't know how many people he will need to complete the job within 5 months. So because this is indirect proportion, that means that I need to straight multiply. So I will have it as 560 times by 9, and that needs to equal to 5 multiplied by x, which is 5x. So 560 times by 9 gives us 5,040. And I need to get rid of the 5 that's in front of the x. So I will have to divide both sides by 5. And I'm just going to complete this up here. That means that x will be equal to 1,008. So that means that he will have to have in total 1,008 people working on the contract in order to complete it on time. However, the question asks us, how many extra people must he employ to complete the contract? Not how many people in total. So what we have to do from here is a bit of an extra step, but we're going to take the total amount that he needs and subtract the people that he already has employed. And this will give us a total of 448 extra workers that he will need to employ. All right, so that is dealing with indirect proportion. Let us go over and try another question and see whether this is direct or indirect. It says that Sobi types 108 words in 6 minutes. Let us highlight some important parts here, which is 108 words in 6 minutes. How many words would she be able to type in a half an hour? So let's see whether we've got direct or indirect. We are comparing the number of words that Sobi can type to the time that it takes her to type those words. So if we increase the time that she has, she will then be able to type more words. That means that we have direct proportion. And because we're dealing with direct, that means we are going to cross multiply. All right, Writing down our known ratio, we know for sure that it will take she will be able to type 108 words in 6 minutes, but we don't know how many words she can type in a half an hour. But let's convert that into minutes, so it'll be 30 minutes. And the reason we do that is because we want uniformity between our units of time. So because this is direct proportion, we are going to cross multiply here. So we've got 108 times by 30, and that needs to give us x times by 6, which is 6x. All right, solving this gives us 3,240, and then we need to get rid of the 6, so we'll divide both sides by 6. 3,240 divided by 6 equals to 540, and then our the 6's will cancel and we are left with x. So that means that she will be able to type 540 words in a half an hour. I hope this lesson has helped you guys. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.